to you. It's a pleasure to have you join us on this week's edition of the program. Now, don't forget to remain your one-stop shop for all the latest information and happenings in the insurance industry. My name is Lucy Ugbe. Welcome. On our lineup this week, first we join Faith and our guest, Comrade Adelaja Tajuddin Badamosi, the chairman of Medical and Health Workers Union, Lagos State Council, on the CEO Rendezvous for the exclusive session where they discuss the topic, COVID-19 pandemic, prioritizing life and health insurance of medical and health workers. Speaking in the course of the interview, Comrade Badamosi said that government at all levels should not wait until there is a crisis as witnessed during the pandemic before addressing issues of welfare of medical and health workers and doctors. Take a listen.
The government should please, they shouldn't wait until there is crisis or pandemic before they look about the welfare of. I cannot sit down here and mention all of them. There are a lot of issues concerning medical and health workers union, and we are employing the federal government to please address the issue from the federal levels, so that at the state level, the state government also will emulate it, they will adopt it. If we are fighting at the state level, they said they are there at the federal level, nothing has been done.
On this edition also, we'll bring you highlights from the one-day training workshop for members of the National Association of Insurance and Pension Correspondents, NAICO, in Lagos by AIICO Insurance PLC. The workshop with the theme, Financial Understanding and Analysis, is aimed at building and broadening the knowledge of insurance journalists. Let's check out excerpts from the workshop.
The regulator is concerned that companies may take too much risk because they want to keep the premium. And that's bad for the industry. If there's a claim and the insurer cannot pay, especially if it's a good claim. If let's say Google has a claim and people are finding it difficult to pay, it's going to be all about the news that insurers are not paying this, insurers are not paying that, blah, blah, blah. So the regulator is trying to say, okay, you can retain a portion of the risk. But after that portion, you have to see it counts.
I want to use this opportunity to appreciate AIICO. We are looking up to maybe by next year that this program will go outside Lagos and we'll have enough time to relax. All of us will travel. We can even make it through this program because you can even see Lagos traffic will not allow some people to come by 10, which we stated. But if you have made it like through this program, today is the day of arrival. When the program starts, we can even start by 8 o'clock in the morning when all of us are receiving the bulletin where the program is holding. I want to use this opportunity to actually send an appreciation to your GMT, telling that we appreciate why we are looking up to, an enhancement, a top-up what we have done so far.
We don't just take the money and drop it under the table or whatever. It has to be invested to yield the required payouts. I understand the position of some of those companies that don't have the large pockets to make big investments that will yield the returns to make the payments. But on our own, we haven't stopped.
Plus, of course, all the other extras we bring you each week on the program. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the lineup. Details in just a moment. Please stay with us.
What takes your anxiety away?
Access to medical care without financial constraint.
Assurance of a cover for my car and I.
Keeping my family protected despite my low income.
Knowing that my goods are secured while in transit.
Not having to worry about the pain and the bills at the same time.
Having my investment secured.
No matter what safety means to you, we provide you with a covering to keep you and all that matters to you safe. Consolidated Hallmark Insurance PLC. Anxiety away. Value assured.
A very warm welcome to you. It's a pleasure to have you join us on the program this week. Today on the set, we'll be looking at COVID-19 pandemic, prioritizing life and health insurance of medical and health workers in Nigeria. And to do justice to our topic of discuss is no other than Comrade Adelaja Tajuddin Badamosi, who is the chairman, Medical and Health Workers Union, Lagos State Council. Thank you so very much, sir, for joining us on the program.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, sir, let me start by saying a very big thank you to you and the members of your union for all the good work they've been doing since the breakout of the COVID-19 pandemic in Nigeria. They have also suffered a lot of losses in terms of losing their members and all that. But I just want to say thank you, guys. You guys are doing a good work. You guys are truly the hero in all of this pandemic. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, sir. The welfare of medical and health workers have always taken center stage in Nigeria, even long before the COVID-19 pandemic broke out. And in the midst of all the COVID-19 pandemic, the welfare of medical and health workers is also an issue. So my question is, would you say the government at all levels have sincerely done enough when it comes to the welfare of medical and health workers in Nigeria?
Thank you for having me. If you say the government has done well, they have done well, but they have not done well in all ramifications. At the beginning of the pandemic, the state government organized workshops and training for all health workers who are to be on the frontliners. They were trained so that they can be prepared well. You know, the Lagos State proactively started these pandemic issues, and with that, the state government has really done well in Lagos State, and the Lagosians really appreciated him very well. And in this course, most of our members are in the frontliners. They were trained at the beginning. At the same time, some incentives were also given to them. They are not allowed to go home. All of them stayed in the hotels so that they will be able to contact their families in case of this current other people who are affected in the pandemic. And with this, they have done well, but in terms of remunerations, in terms of finances, there are some bottlenecks. Some of our members are not paid well, some are not even paid at all, some are short paid. But the bottom line of this, they have done well in terms of attending some issues, because being trained, having attended workshops, give us more power to attend to our patients along the way. And with that, you say kudos to the Lagos State government.
Okay, sir, you oftentimes, and it's not just Lagos State government, you hear government, even at the federal level, say, oh, we cannot do everything by ourselves. So when it comes to the welfare of medical and health workers in Nigeria, is there a way, or has the private sector in any way also contributed? As I said, in the midst of the pandemic, a friend recently joked to me that after God is medical and health workers in the midst of the pandemic. So has the private sector also made any meaningful contributions when it comes to welfare?
Yeah, they've also done well. We have nothing like that 26 registered hospitals in Lagos State. Then we have about 256 primary health cares. We have our members demand those places. Even at the private sectors, we have about 2,800 and something private sectors along Lagos State, across Lagos State. And they also take part in the course of this pandemic. They've come out largely supporting the government and making sure that our members, wherever they are, their welfare is very paramount. They have done well also by contributing their quotas to the Lagos State government, and also even to the medical and health workers members within all health facilities in Lagos State. I give kudos to them.
Okay, sir. The coronavirus pandemic has brought to the fore once again the importance of life insurance, as we saw governments at all levels in the peak of the pandemic sometime last year in panic mode trying to procure life insurance covers for frontline health workers. Now, the question is, why would you wait till a crisis situation for you to provide something as basic, in fact, when you compare to other clients, something as basic as life insurance for those who are in the medical and health sector?
Yeah. The term life insurance, the government have to rush at that particular time. They have no choice. Because the lives of those on the frontliners cannot be taken for granted. And the government quickly procure life insurance for them. Truly, the life insurance is meant for, personally for me. If government take charge at that particular time, it's because we are in the crisis. Although we negotiated for so many welfare package for our members, but in terms of life insurance, it's something that the employee ourselves have to be responsible for. Are you getting me? It's not the government initially. But in that crisis time, the government take it up to on themselves that even if we have done some, we have our personal insurance, I mean, the Lagos State Health Insurance Scheme is there, we have access to health facilities. But they know the importance of health workers in that particular period. They now say, okay, let us motivate them. Let us give them this life insurance. Although they should have done it for everybody, but it's expensive. And that's why we come to where there's group life insurance. I get me, where they can benefit from there. But now, the government took care of only those people at the frontliners, where they procure this life insurance for them. We are all health workers. All of us cannot be at the frontliners. And that's why we are telling government to take charge of others who are not in the frontliners, who are also part of health workers. Because the issues of only the frontliners, they may be tired and you need to recruit another people. So if you don't take care of those one at the backlog, at the back, you won't be able to get it right. And that's why we are telling the state government to ensure that those people who they procure life insurance for, they should continue. It's not because there is a crisis, there's a peculiarities, and I said, okay, no, we are doing it because of this purpose. It should be a continuity so that health workers, we have a confidence in them that when we are in crisis, our government are in charge for us.
Okay, sir, before now, you mentioned group life insurance, which that I do know that as a result of the Pension Reform Act of 2014 is actually made compulsory for the employer to provide group life insurance for its employees. So I just want you to dwell a little bit of that. Before the coronavirus pandemic, was your member or were your members enjoying group life insurance from their employer, by extension, the Lagos State?
At all. Because even the life insurance talking about, I told you, they took because of peculiar of the crisis, they pick people who are in frontliners to benefit from this life insurance. We are now using this opportunity to advise the government to key in, to use the advantage of this pandemic, and at the same time, the group life insurance. They use this opportunity to just key in so that even we as the employer are going to contribute a little, and they are going to contribute a little also. With this, the life insurance, the group one, the cost will be reduced for the government. And by this, everybody will benefit. Even some people who have crisis in the course of delivering their duties, they will have some benefits. And if you are there, which you don't pray for, you also have your life insurance covered. And those people who disabilities in the course of doing things are infected, they can also be compensated with that group insurance. That's why I'm saying that it's very, very cheap for the government to do. Now that the avenue is opened for us to just key in. So we advise the state government to key in into this group life insurance so that it will benefit to all health workers. Either you are in the frontliners or you are in the hospital where you operate.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I've also known that in the peak of the pandemic, you also find your members, not just in Lagos State, Delta State, all demanding that if their employer does not provide them with life insurance, they will go on strike and all of that. So the question also is, why did they wait also till when a crisis situation before they started making demands for something that is legitimately their right and part of what their employer should provide for them?
Yeah, the medical and health workers, even at the national level, are always been in the forefront of welfare of our members. We have gone on strike because of this welfare package severally. Even we are still agitating of going another one now. Because I have an information yesterday. Because there are issues. If we are talking of the life insurance now, It's not that we have not presented it at the national level, but the question is, we are the employer. It is your life. And that is why Lagos State government, in its own wisdom, started this Lagos State Health Insurance Scheme. But it is not all encompassing. You see there is some here, over there. So we are employing the Lagos State government. As we have said, we know the importance of life insurance, but they have said it is for you, employee, it's not for us to have life insurance. We have insurance for you. You can key in. I mean, the Lagos State life insurance schemes, we started last year, by July last year. Our money have been deducted since last year. There are so much bottleneck, even accessing that Lagos State health insurance scheme. Some people who are supposed to get some treatment won't be able to get it because they said, there's a boundary in that scheme. You can't go beyond this, you can't go beyond that. And because of that, we are unable to access some health facilities. So the issue of life insurance is a global one. It's not only in Nigeria.
Especially the group life insurance.
The group life insurance. When they are finding it difficult to do individual life insurance, globally they've adopted the group life insurance, which we are also employing the federal government and the state government to admit, so that we also will have the benefit of life insurance. Because we have tried so many times that the government should be responsible to be in charge of the life insurance, but the message has also been there that there are insurance already for you people when you're coming in in service, so they cannot procure life insurance. They have said it. As it is now, we are now employing them to key into this group life insurance.
Yeah, because it's made, you guys are not even supposed to plead with them because it's made compulsory by law.
By law, it's mandatory. So, and by law, they need to key into it. We are on top of it, and we are not going to relent our effort until government adopts the group life insurance for our members.
Okay, sir. We have dwelled a little bit about the group life insurance. On the scale of 1 to 10, what would you say is the biggest challenge confronting medical and health workers in Nigeria, especially when it comes to the issue of welfare?
I just said the medical and health workers, even though I met at national level concerning the welfare of staff, which is very, very paramount to them. You see, before the pandemic, we have a lot of issues with the federal government and the state government, which, because of this pandemic, we don't want to raise it so that they will see us as a sabotage of government. We have, what do you call it, decaying infrastructures in health sectors, not enough working tools to work with. The hospital even not designed for hospital settings, because you will see buildings just being converted to hospitals, and it won't have all necessary facilities supposed to have. And we are employing government, although government has been doing it. They just constructed one at Lekki and the other one at Badagry General Hospital recently. They have just commissioned one. We are urging them to do more of that, because we are the hem of our fear. We know what we are going through at the health sectors. Decaying infrastructures, enough tools, tools not available. What do you call it? The remunerations is very, very poor at the sectors. We are still fighting for corrections of what is it? Commerce for all our members. They've done the adjustments for the commerce for the doctors, but for all other health workers like you, they have not done it. In one way or the other, the government will be dodging the medical and health. And we have the firm now that when what is good for the goose is good for the ganja, so they should try what they are doing for the medical doctors at their own space. You should also do that for other health workers, because the majority of our members are more than the doctors. Our members are generic in nature. Even when they are creating more cadres in the hospitals, they are going to belong to medical and health workers unions. So the doctors have their nomenclature as doctors, the nurses have their nomenclature as nurses. But as for medical and health workers, it's cut across both junior and senior. We have health attendants, we have X-ray technicians, pharmacy technicians, laboratory technicians, we have environmental health officers, we have dietitians, we have physiotherapists, we have so many of them in their sectors. We have a large numbers of members, and with this, if government did not look about the welfare of those categories of workers, it may affect the status of health facilities in Lagos and in Nigeria in general. So that is why we are employing them to be proactive in nature. Not before we ask. They know what is good for us. They are doing it for the other side. They should also do it for us at this side of the game. And that is why we are telling them to do justice to welfare they are doing to medical and health workers union in Lagos State and in Nigeria in general.
All right, welcome back. Moving on, we now bring you highlights from the capacity building workshop for members of the National Association of Insurance and Pension Correspondents, NAICO, by AIICO Insurance PLC. This is the second of such training for NAICO members by the company. Happy viewing.
I would prefer it if, the session is a bit interactive to get what you guys understand so far so that I can know where I can come in, rather than just say, give you guys a lecture. I want to kind of know what you guys understand, what the pain points are. So when you look at insurance financial statements, what are the things you understand? What are the things you don't understand?
You have your investment income, maybe your dividends or your coupon payments from your bonds. When you receive them, you recognize them as investment income, depending on what type of investment you do. When you receive income, you recognize it. Profit from deposit administration. Most of the time, sometimes companies can take in maybe a pool of funds and manage it, right? The profits that they get from the amount of money that they are supposed to pay for managing that fund. So let's say you give me 10 million. You expect a 20% return. So at the end of the year, I'm going to give you back 12 million. But let's say I make 15 million. I'll give back 12 million. My profit on that is 3 million. I record that as the profits on deposit administration. So that's usually what happens. So it's usually people pay you, like your savings products, for instance. So when people are paying every month, they want to receive a certain amount plus interest. You will take that money, invest it. You might make more. When you make more, you take the person's money out. The remaining is your profits. So with deposit admin, you know how much you're going to collect at a certain period, right? So you are investing with me for a year, right? At the end of the year, I'm going to pay you X amount of money plus your interest. That liability, I know it from the beginning. I know how much I'm going to pay you. With an annuity, if you live for the rest of your life, I'm going to pay you for the rest of your life. I don't know how much I'm going to pay. You get? So that's the key difference there.
How can companies actually manage it because I've seen a situation where a company, even their gross underwriting profit, the management expenses was even higher than what the gross died. How can companies actually manage their management expenses to be like what you are spending is more than what you generated in the year? It was a big debate even when we went to when I reported that when we went to insurance professional forum, they now brought up the issue there that why should a company management expenses exceed its gross premium for that year?
There are two companies. One has premium of 20 billion. Another one has 7 billion. If you look at their bottom line, they're almost at par. Or even the one having lower premium has better bottom line. Now, you are looking at these companies, you are measuring them. Maybe you are addressing the investor. What are the indices you should look at? I know, I don't know, is it only earnings? So for the investor, now for the customer who want to know where to move fund, can you look at it from?
And that's all time will allow on the program this week. It's been my pleasure bringing it to you. I hope you enjoyed your time with us. Let's continue the conversations, interactions, and feedbacks on all our social media platforms. Don't forget to tune in to our flagship Pidgin English radio show, Waiting Insurance They Do Serve, on Nigeria FM 102.7 on Wednesday by 9:45 a.m. live, powered by NICOM. Our YouTube channel, Almond Finance TV, is packed full with loads of exclusive interviews that will interest you. Just subscribe and you're good to go. Join us again, same time, same station next week for a fresh package. But until then, from the entire team, it's goodbye and please stay safe.